Cheers.
Cheers.
So, Miro, it's time for me to ask the question that you dread. Why the fuck don't I get this? And here's what I want to talk about today. There have been a lot of stories in the news lately about professional athletes who have basically, they've either been caught with doing reckless behavior, maybe there's been some domestic violence, some criminal activity.
So who do you want to discuss?
Let's talk about some of your favorites.
So Ocho, yeah. Well, Ocho had an incidence of domestic violence with his wife.
You love him. I used to like him.
Who says I love him? I'm an NFL fan. And he paid the price. He had an incidence of domestic violence at the start of the year.
Okay.
And the Miami Dolphins released him as a result. So he paid a price for that.
He paid a price finally. Are you telling me that in all the years that he's been a public figure and that he's been a pro athlete and that he's been getting paid a shitload of money, this is the first time ever that there's been an incident like this?
Well, no, he's had multiple incidents. And
of course
if
he
you
has.
want to
So
talk,
why did it take so long for this to happen?
It's happening all the time. And obviously, if you're talking about NFL players, there is a higher than normal instance of criminal activity, DUIs.
As compared to the general population?
Well, as compared to other sports as well, I think. And there's a couple of reasons that I think that is. It's because, when you're dealing with NFL players, you're dealing with, a lot of guys that are very aggressive, are very kind of testosterone driven, more than any other sport. They live the way they play. They go out and
I know a ton of guys who are highly testosterone-driven guys.
Right.
I mean, I have friends. I have a lot of friends who they're big-ass guys, testosterone. They're all man. They don't go out and beat their wife.
No, but I'm not saying everyone that is big and that is aggressive goes out and does these things. But you have a higher than normal instance among
so basically,
these
you're
pool
saying
of
that that's a
people.
reason, or it's an excuse, or
It's
it's
not an
sort of.
excuse.
And okay, like you said, he's paid a price. But there are plenty of men, and they all seem to be men for the most part, who have these issues. Sorry. They go on and on and on. Well, hello. There you go. But then you've got people who, maybe they're punished for a while, but then they get their job back, like Michael Vick. Look at him. He had a $100 million contract, lost it, got it back. Now he's playing again.
You make it sound like he just got it back. He went to prison for a couple of years. He served, he paid his debt to society.
Had done the same shit that he had done, and we had been charged for the same crimes. Do you think that anybody's going to hire us? Are we going to get a $100 million contract?
It depends on the situation. It depends on the situation.
I don't think so.
It absolutely depends on the situation.
What's the situation?
Well,
Money?
It's a case-by-case scenario. Like, he obviously had talent. He was still young enough to redeem himself. The Philadelphia Eagles engaged him in a new contract.
All right, let's move on and talk about some other people.
Yeah, please. Can't wait.
So let's talk about, so we'll be fair here. We'll talk about some women as well. Hope Solo recently married her boyfriend.
Did she beat him up?
And he beat her up.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so it's a two-sided thing. I'm not blaming all men, and I'm not saying it's a testosterone thing, even though you are. I disagree with that. Hope Solo has been with this guy for not that long. He basically beats her up the night before, ends up in jail. She bails him out and marries him the next day. So if we go back, let's look at his rap sheet. He has a long one, by the way. So he has fights, drug arrests, stun gun issues, DUI, hit and run. He broke a guy's jaw by stomping on his face.
So what's your point?
This guy has a criminal history.
Right. And was it a problem for Hope? No. She marries the guy the next day. So what's your point?
All right, let's talk about when we have to actually make a decision and make this a moral one.
Okay, let me turn the table, okay?
Good luck.
Okay, Des Bryant
Sure.
beat up his mother. If you're the Dallas Cowboys owner, okay, and you get a call at 2 o'clock in the morning and you say, Des Bryant has gotten into trouble, he's done this, his mother called 911. This is a guy that you fought really hard to get, sacrificed a lot of draft picks and everything else. What do you do?
Well, first of all, I'll use your argument, which means
don't use mine. Use yours.
No, I'm going to say, because you like to say that not everything is so straightforward.
Right.
Okay, so that's not straightforward. But clearly, if you've made this type of an investment in this type of person for a team that is worth millions and millions of dollars,
billions, in fact,
billions of dollars, right. No smart financial guy will ever do this kind of thing without understanding what kind of a risk he's taking, having some sort of backup plan. Look, it's not like these guys didn't know this guy was capable of this.
Let me ask you something, okay?
Go ahead.
If you owned the Chicago Bulls when Michael Jordan was in his prime, and there was a situation where you got a call, he beat the shit out of his wife, she's in hospital, what do you do? Do you basically say...
I don't have to answer that question because Michael Jordan never did that.
Well, I know, but do you... See, now you're Amy the moral person, but
sure.
as a team owner, you're kind of like, well, I really don't want to get rid of
As
him.
a
and
team
then,
owner, of course, because there's no easy decision. Who says there's ever going to be an easy choice here? There
it's
is
never
no
easy. I'm not
choice.
asking whether it's
And
easy or
there-
hard.
and
I'm
first of
asking
all,
what would you do?
I'm going to say someone who's going to do that kind of thing is going to do it again and next. And I don't know if it's the next time or the following time, but there will be either a death or there will be something.
What do you do
And
in this scenario?
you
Is I'm asking.
make a change. You do not leave him
So
in
what do you
his
do?
job. You do not give him his
you would
full
fire him?
compensation. I would fire him. I can't say I would
Bullshit.
fire it
You
that
would-
day.
Bullshit. You would not fire him.
Maybe we need a drink.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I think this is a great point for discussion. I want to hear what you guys have to say about it. Send us an email, info@sportswtftheshow.com. You'll get a response from me, and trust me, you'll get totally an opposite response from Miro.
And wasn't that a great cop out?